Forza Milan. Welcome to the AC Milan Fan Club Nigeria podcast. We are very much excited to be here. My name is Agbo Obedience and I'll be the host for this podcast from now going forward. To my left, I have Santi. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Tyler James. Call me Santi.
Santi, yeah, nice to have you here, Santi.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. To my right, we have our president of the Fan Club Nigeria, Landon. Please.
Thank you so much. My name is Landon Erumona. It's a pleasure being in this today. I'm to speak about Milan. It's a privilege and something that I'm very happy about. Thank you.
All right, it's very nice to have you, President. And to my extreme right,
Yeah, my name is Victor Nweze Chris.
all right, it's very nice to have you here, Wednesday. Yeah, so basically today we'll be talking about the season is ended. Yeah, we've played all the games. We saw what our team achieved. It was supposed to be a title defense for us, and we also how that ended up. So I'm going to ask our opinions. What do we think about Milan's title defense? What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, the fact is that it's been one of the worst title defense in the recent history of Serie A. I'm not going to go too far and say maybe in the last 50 years or whatever. I don't have that stat, but it was actually a very terrible title defense. More so, this is maybe the first time since the 3 points era that the title had been decided with like several games to go. You know, like it's been long decided, and it was really unfortunate. I don't know what to make of our season because at some point, you know, I would say the first half of the season we were right there. You know,
Yeah,
up until the World Cup,
everything
we're
was
just 6
everything was
points.
going well till the World Cup, and after the World Cup, I think we had the worst spell we've had on that period. January was hell, but then it was actually hell. Santi, what do you think about that? What do you think about what happened in January?
Yeah, for me, what changed our season was those 6 weeks of losses and draws. Those are what tilted because I felt the losses and draws they were against major teams, and it crashed our confidence such that even when we were playing smaller teams like Sassuolo who have been losing, who have been on back-to-back losses, it's still that crash of confidence still showed in those games. And you can see Sassuolo took points from us. Salernitana, we had draws. So those
And don't forget Spezia.
and Spezia,
Spezia
those
also took point of us.
of us, and those accumulated losses crashed the players' confidence. Fine, I feel Magnan's injury might have caused it, but I think it's more than Magnan's injury because if you are losing games, you will not be sure of yourself again. So I think those players, because they are young, most of them are young players, except Giroud and Kaya and maybe Krunic, that or the older players there. Most of even Calabria that has spent close to 8.5 years. It's still 25. It's still 25, and might not be a mature player in that sense. Yeah, so I think the lack of many old players then, and Zlatan was not in it, he was treating his leg or the injury they had. So I think they didn't have someone that could regroup them and
That could regroup the team.
that could regroup the team and give them that gear up that they had during the Scudetto season.
Alright.
The Scudetto season, I feel Ibrahimovic was very important.
Yeah, it was.
Fine. I'm not really his fan, but
We know
One of these is we need to ask Santiago why.
We know.
the Zlatan effect that I feel was basically gearing up players, boosting their confidence, even times when things were not getting right during the Scudetto season. You look at the Scudetto season that we won the Scudetto. We had many 1-0 wins. Games that we knew that there would be draws, that this game would end in a draw, would just come from a win. Yes,
So I think what you're trying to say is Zlatan was also part of what made our
Yes.
season the way it was.
Yes, it was also a major part of what Milan season.
Okay, we'll come back to that and we'll also discuss, like you rightfully mentioned, Calabria. So, President, what do you think? Like, give us your feedback on how the season went in general. What do you think of our season?
Yeah, I think personally, I want to take a very different opinion from everybody else.
Alright, that's fine.
I feel like as a club, so I think everybody has their own share of the blame on what's happening in general. We just got carried away with the fact that okay, we're Scudetto winners, and I think there's this label, oh, because I have won the Scudetto, it's more like that's more than enough courage for me to be able to see it through. Because even when we won the Scudetto itself, there were areas that we actually
That we're lacking, right?
exactly we're behind, and these are places or areas we'll be talking about even before we won the Scudetto, like 2 seasons back.
So let me pause here for a minute. So I remember 2019,
Yes.
we only had audio podcast then.
Exactly.
2019,
Yeah,
2020.
true.
And most times when I listen to those podcasts, I see that the discussions we had then, as in 2020, were the things that were still living our team,
I'm speaking about them now.
even to this present moment. This is 2023. So what do you think? What do you think about all of that? Isn't that there's nobody looking out for these things at the club?
That's why I started with. It's like everybody got carried away. Okay, so for instance, at some point in time, we needed an AM or a 10 to actually carry the team. Prior to this season, Ibrahim Diaz wasn't even a starter. Now we're going to a new season and we're expecting somebody that we couldn't rely on for a full season to start for us. And we're now saying the workload of the next season should be on him. Okay, so maybe they brought in CDK. But the truth is that CDK is just a new buy. And say what you like, it's a 50-50 thing. Either it comes in and it comes up. So we have an instance or an issue on ground whereby we know that even our current AM shouldn't even be starting games for us. But we're having to play an entire season, 38 matches, league matches, cup matches, and we're still relying on the AM. And it's like nobody in the club is doing anything about it. I don't know. So it's more like, okay, you know there's an issue, but you somehow feel like that issue that is there will just overlook itself, and do you understand, things will work out. And that's what I started with. So I think the Scudetto in itself just do you understand, placed us in a way whereby we couldn't even tell ourselves the honest truth that as a team there were so many deficiencies there that we needed to address.
So you mean even when we won this together?
Yes. So
we already had lapses.
So like you said, even way back 2019, 2020,
yeah.
Players like Gerald, okay, yes, he scores critical goals, but we've always said that Gerald should not be a starter. Like we should have somebody that starts ahead of Gerald. But we're going to the new season and Gerald is still the one starting. So possibly because we felt like
hold that for a minute.
Okay.
We'll get into that essentially. We discuss the top players and the flop players for us in the minute. So Weze, what do you think? What do you think could have been done after we won the Scudetto the previous season to booster this squad? What was the thing that was supposed to have been done to make us more competitive?
Well, I want to make a few points. One of them is that I think, just to clarify something, I think Giroud joined Milan in our Scudetto winning season.
Yes.
So just to clarify that. Then, in my opinion, I don't think there was much that the management could have done differently with regards to maybe recruiting players and all that. Because if you really look at it, I think they tried to address the issues that they identified that the club had issues with. You know,
do you mind if I ask you how? Because let's take for example that our right wing.
Yeah, I'm going to go there now. If you remember very well that the season prior, Milan were going after Ziyech, and they were trying to get Ziyech up onto the like the end of the transfer window. They ended up getting Messias from Croton.
Wherever they got it from.
And for a while he came injured, and it took a while for him to integrate and all that. So eventually, when they started playing him, the management felt, and let's not discount the fact that there was this general notion that they had to work within the budget,
Yeah.
And by then, we had started seeing that even while Brahim Diaz was fit, the coach was unwilling to trust him in certain games. We had to deploy Kessie in the center attacking midfield. We had to deploy Kronic. So they
Trust him
had
in certain games, so it wasn't even long.
yes, both of them.
I think you're kind of missing the point here. So what I was asking.
I'm getting there. I understand the point, the question. The question is that what could have been done
Differently.
after we
yes. So I think that why I had to talk about the player recruiting is that a lot of people immediately assume that we got it wrong from the player recruiting. Yeah, to me that's partially true. But I think that where the Scudetto challenge, or the Scudetto defense was actually lost, was that after we lost Mike Mannion to injuries, the coach was unwilling to adapt his game, to play, to change his gameplay from a sweeping goalkeeper to a deep lying goalkeeper. You understand? And that was why at the point where we had to change to a 3-man back line, we started having more defensive mindset, and then things started calming down. I think if Pioli could have done things differently, and that would have actually given us a different season.
I hear what you're saying. So you mentioned something about it not being about recruitment. I think that will take us to one other thing we're going to discuss. So I would like to hear you guys, your top players for the season and your flop players for the season. Sandy, who do you think is your top player for the season?
Top player for the season is definitely Rafael.
Okay.
Great guy, creates chances so much, although the chances he creates are wasted 90% on Giroud. But funny enough, Giroud had a really stellar season in terms of goals and assists. He had like 20 goals and assists on this season. And my flop of the season is Charles Ketelare.
Okay.
0 goals.
I think there's no need to even ask you why. I believe we all understand why anyways. So apart from Charles, so we understand that Charles is just coming into the team, and based on how Pioli ball works, you don't just come into the team and start firing like that. It's very rare. So let's say apart from Charles, who else do you think can take the flop of the season from Milan?
Kalulu.
Okay.
Kalulu did so much this season. Didn't show exactly why he was picked that season.
Right?
So
I like how Santi is my work.
No. So the good thing is,
I'm not on the same page.
that's fine. The good thing is, we tend to overlook some players. Can you understand?
Yeah.
By the time we look at, just like you mentioned Charles first, and when somebody picks Charles as your flop of the season, you tend to overlook those other people that have had like very bad seasons. So Landon, who do you think your top and flop of the season?
Well, I think everybody, well, definitely Rafael, exceptional season. In fact, he tried to even surpass what he did last season to me, even though overall the team didn't meet up expectation. And flop is Siddiqui. It's a known fact. But I also want to just mention two players quickly.
Okay.
One is Malik Thiaw, and he did exceptionally well. Like, just as much as
That's
we are
your
saying,
top for the season.
yeah, just as much as we are saying, Siddiqui just came to the league. He just also joined the league, and he just stepped up and is doing so well. But flop of the season for me is Rebic, Anti-Rebic. To be honest with you, at some point it's more like it's like a pain watching Rebic play. You don't know, is it like he doesn't even know when to pass, he doesn't know when to run, he doesn't even know when to shoot. Like it's like somebody just pierced your heart. That's how it's like when you watch it.
I think
for me,
I
the
think-
flop of the season, really, because I can
Right.
give a pass to CDK to the next. It's
That's
Rebic. That's Rebic. That's your
Okay, I think Rebic's best game this season was the first game. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
The first game I scored 2 goals. I think that was the best.
Yeah, so
that was the best.
Yeah, I think that's the only game we had that
In
makes
all
sense.
38 games.
That's
So
the-
who do you think is your top one?
Well, you already mentioned my top, actually. My top absolutely is Malik Chow. That boy gives me joy, honestly. And it's so sad that it took how many months for the coach to integrate him. And these are some of the things that I'm saying. You know, if you watch that boy play sometimes, there are some passes he chooses that makes you know that this guy came from an academy where they drilled certain play, you know, into him. He still lacks a little bit of confidence, and he struggled, especially when the club was struggling, you know. But even at that, you could see that he's a bright spot. For my flop, I really can't choose. I want to have a bias.
I did that much.
They lost. They lost. But one player that has really,
One has to be exceptional.
one player that has really intrigued me, okay, for how he has flopped this season is Origi. I keep saying it that Origi has everything to succeed as a striker in Serie A. Origi is tall, Origi is strong, Origi is fast, Origi can shoot with both foot. But Origi is never found in the box. I don't understand.
Okay, Moise, fine. You mentioned Origi. Can we blame that on the integration also? Do you think it's also a function of the way he's being integrated into?
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. Unfortunately, Origi is one of the high earners, you know, in the club.
Yeah.
So if you give me the option of letting him go or giving him an extra season, of course I'll ask to let him go so that we can make room for some other players that we might want to go for. But if there is a chance that he should stay and hopefully try again, you know, because I really that guy has everything to succeed. It just the mental aspect.
Not to take so much of our time. I think he has everything to succeed. He should be in some other club. That's my let him succeed in another club.
So for me,
sincerely, I don't know why. It's like, is it that I don't know, you know, we've gone through a long, as in we've had so many ups and downs. Coming from better era, I don't know why we keep this trying to manage something that is obvious that it's not needed, really.
Okay, but in actual truth, is better than some of the things we had in bad era, although we're not seeing all of that. So I think for me, we can make a case for the fact that it also points down to integration by the coach. If we are saying CDK is not playing very well, Malik Chow didn't play well till the turn of the year, so we can also give that sort of pass to Ricky.
No.
I think
What
Malik Chow always played well.
No, wait, maybe you didn't understand what I was saying.
No, I understand.
Malik Chow is somebody that, even if he had not played well, he could have given that benefit of doubt that, oh, his time will come. Because he's young, just coming from. He already has been playing professional football for almost.
He has played in different countries.
Do you understand? Personally, for me, Origi, why I didn't mention his name is that I think the system we play doesn't even suit him to begin with. He doesn't even understand what he's supposed to do on the pitch. He doesn't know if he's a winger, he doesn't know if he's a striker, he doesn't know if he's an AM.
Or maybe he started with an injury.
Does that boil down to integration?
Well, I don't know. I was just referring
what Santi has to say.
For Origi, I think I'll give a pass to him. The reason why is, and the thing that affects Origi also affects most players now. They are not moved by competition. They are comfortable in where they are. So if you notice, if we play a game today and Liawish plays a bad game today, he knows that next game there are no consequences.
He will start, right?
Yes, there are no consequences. Do you understand? So for the Origi issue, I think it rolls down to the whole team where everybody is comfortable and doesn't want to play at the higher level. They are comfortable in their talents that they have and not going for more. And I think it rolls down from the top to bottom. That's from the management to the bottom. Now, for Origi himself, he has all the talent, quite alright. But if you look at Origi in Liverpool, he was always energetic to come in because he knows that he has to deliver. He has to deliver. But now in Milan,
Low battery.
I think he's
Please
laid back.
charge.
Laid back.
Are you saying it's because there's no major competition in
Yes, there's no drive, as in there's nobody to push them to the max like Ibra did in 2019-2020. Ibra pulled their talent to the max. That was the reason why we had enough way to get that talent the best out of Leao. Leao especially. Leao was someone that he was dribbling so much in 2019, but he was missing chances. Just like the way he missed during the debut, his first day. Yeah, but Ibra's guidance, fine. And Ibra's motivation. And on the pitch, the way Ibra shouts on them and guides them. So those things, Origi has missed those things.
So okay, what you're saying is
Low
there's
battery.
not enough
Please charge.
drive in the team. There's no motivating factor, no push to be better than.
Yeah, I would like to also ask, what is this talent that Origi has? Maybe someone should just quickly explain.
So I don't know. We all saw Origi at Liverpool. He was not the best player, but he was very impactful whenever
Came on.
Let me put it like this. The way I watch players, okay, is that you are looking for certain ability, to do certain things.
Yeah.
So now, do you want a fast player, for instance, and you watch this player when he's being put to pace against other players, in play, and you find out that he's actually quite fast. Okay, you watch, you can see his height, you can see his bulk, his strength. You've seen some goals that he has scored. He has been able to score with both foot. You understand? You see his ability, even for us, even for Milan. You understand? You've seen he has
Low
quite
battery.
the
Please charge.
ability, to shoot the ball from distance, for instance. You understand? So these are simple things. He's a player that can actually beat his man, from his standing point. You understand? So the problem now is you have this talent, okay? Look at Marcus Thuram, for instance. I'm sure I haven't done the comparison, but I don't think he's taller than Origi or stronger. So when I say ability, or shoots better, for instance. So when I say ability,
Like I said, Origi, I think I will still give him a chance. One more season in Milan. And the reason why is most players in Milan are comfortable with the levels they are. They don't aspire for more. Fine, it might be like Unwise said, an aspect of coaching. Fine, but I think because they don't have depth in the team,
No competition.
no competition. So everybody just plays at the level he feels he is today.